Hey everyone, it's Mitch, the founder of GrabbrApp, an infrastructure threat intelligence collection platform that lets researchers and analysts collect information about malicious infrastructure safely and at scale. From the start, I wanted GrabbrApp to be both a way to generate useful threat intelligence data, as well as serve as a feed of valuable threat intelligence information in itself. Over my career in threat intelligence, I've relied on plenty of threat intelligence feeds to hunt for badness and answer critical cybersecurity questions. That's why I'm incredibly excited to announce the launch of GrabbrApp intelligence feeds for all paid users. This feature is available to all paid users as of today. If you're an individual threat intelligence researcher or want to give the platform a shot, a paid subscription starts at $12 per month or $132 per year. Enterprise subscriptions start at $100 per month per seat or $1,100 per year per seat. Head over to GrabbrApp.io, sign up, and upgrade to a paid account to get access to the GrabbrApp intelligence feed today. Now let's talk a little bit about what the feed is. The GrabbrApp intelligence feed is a continuous feed of scanned infrastructure, potentially malicious files, and SSL certificates that have been collected by users of the GrabbrApp platform. The feed is already present in your GUI if you are a paid user of the platform and you are able to hit the feed API endpoint. Right now, the feed consists of all SSL certificates and files scanned by the platform over the past roughly 3 days. That information will be expanding over time, but we'll talk a little bit more about my plans for the future later in this video. First, let's check out a demo of the GUI. So the UI is fairly simple, fairly self-explanatory. I'm logged in over here on my account. I've got a paid account, obviously. And if you look over here, this right here is our edition, the data feed. Right now it looks very simple. Right now it is just basically a way that you can very quickly take a look at what has been submitted to GrabbrApp over the last couple of days, and you can click on these links and pivot to the individual SSL certs. This right here is an SSL cert for infosec.exchange. So you can see the information about that, go back to your dashboard, and you can continue kind of exploring. So this is I believe Reddit homepage, I think is how I fetched this. So everything else is still present. You can still grab SSL certs, you can still grab files right over here on the left. If you are in a non-paid account, you will just have this search bar right here and you won't have the data feed. But yeah, that's pretty much the UI in a nutshell. It's fairly self-explanatory. Now let's check out the API. I'm going to be using Postman to demo the API. Now you will very quickly notice, and the keen among you might already be writing up your YouTube comments, this is in fact my API key. I'm going to be using it for explanatory purposes. If you go back to the UI, you can actually cycle your API key by going over here to your profile. Right here is my API key, and you can click change your API key, and that will cycle it out for you. I will be doing that after I finish this video. Simply send a post request to the /API/feeds endpoint and you will get all kinds of information. So you'll see this is just the results array here. You'll have an ID and then you will have all of the information about the individual object that you fetch. So as we can see here, this is an SSL certificate for infosec.exchange like we saw just a second ago. Then we've got our files. And yeah, I mean, it just returns the, a couple more pieces of information than the GUI does. My plan is to start working on a couple of integrations for the API, obviously, so that you can use it with all of your favorite threat intelligence tools, but that's pretty much what it does now in a nutshell. So this will be roughly the last 1,000 objects within the feeds database, or the last 3 days of data within the feeds database, whichever is the smallest, basically. That's not ideal, and I plan on pagifying this and making it a little bit easier to use in the future. But let's go ahead and talk about the future real quick. So a peek behind the curtain. I'm working on getting more users on GrabbrApp, and I'm definitely working on making the platform more useful for the folks who are here, because right now the platform is not getting used much at all. Feeds was a big part of development to make GrabbrApp more useful so that folks actually use it, and the development over the next month or two will be focused on similar features with similar goals. The backend rewrite, if you've been following that on my blog, LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere, it's going well. And it's roughly almost finished. Basically, I just kind of have to finish up a couple of endpoints, test it, and then switch out the current API for the new one. And then we will be good to go on that. So that's currently still in development. Next up on the docket, though, I've got some really exciting stuff. Scanners and discovery. That's one of the big focuses over the next couple of months. I want to find interesting and likely malicious servers and start farming data from them. This is stuff like open directories, likely C2 servers, phishing sites, things like that, as well as database servers, so kind of like open directories, but for databases. I want all of this info to kind of start dumping into the feeds to make it more useful so that people actually use it. I also want to extend the data model. Right now, the only things that you can really do things with are the file and SSL objects. My plan is to extend this data model so you can pivot on domains to different SSL certs and different files found on those domains. I want this to be visible in the GUI and searchable in the API as well. Finally, kind of the small pet project I'll be working on over the next couple of months is static file analysis. I'd really like to get some basic static file analysis done, things like kind of like detecting file types via magic bytes and, kind of pulling apart some PEs and things like that, so that I can offer a bit more information for folks using the platform to pull down malicious files. There's some really cool directions I want to take that, but I will leave that for another video in the future. All right, that's about it for the future. The support for GrabbrApp thus far has been awesome, and I'm really enjoying seeing how folks are using it. If you have any issues or feedback, don't hesitate to reach out on here in the comment section, LinkedIn, or via email at mitch@grabbrapp.io. And obviously, don't forget to share the launch post and tell your friends. This app only gets better as more folks use it, and I get more feedback. Take it easy. Peace.